Okay, all right, good evening, everyone. Um, Nice to have us all here. So today, yeah, I'm supposed to have sent, what's it called, an assignment for our visits, but since it has not been forthcoming, I hope I'll be able to come up with something. Okay, so, okay, I think I should first do an overview because there's a high chance, there's a probability that some of us have forgotten. So today, I'm going to be using Google Colab. I'm not going to be using my Jupyter Notebook. You can use your Jupyter notebook. Like I said, when we were starting Python class, that I was going to be changing it. Yes, I will do that. Don't worry. Fine, you're going to find it very easy. Um, so basically, basically, um, so I'm going to be using the mix of both, right? And I'm going to show you it's not a difficult thing. I'm going to be integrating it with each other. So you're going to see it. Currently, I'm trying to open up Jupyter Notebook just to go over the things that we did in case some of us have, you know, uh, really lost some things on it. Okay, this should not take time anyways. So like I said, we have gone through the basics, like the very basics. Of course, even the basics, there are still things that are core. Like there are still some advanced things in the basics. So like that's something that you should know. So we have gone through the basics. So in the basics, we did lists, right? Uh loop. Sorry, we worked on tuple, that's like the early parts, worked on dictionaries. Uh what else? We moved from there. We went to okay, we did a bit of keywords, but that was just identifying what keywords are. Then we did conditionals. That's where if, else, if else, then yeah, that's if else. That's if else if. Yeah, that's the simple thing about it. So we did that. Then I think finally we ended up on loop where we have to discuss the for loop and there's a while loop. So of course we did a bit of things, right? Yeah, amazed that we had to do all of someone's telling me we have to do all of this to get just simple things as our result. Well, the truth of this is if you have to do complex things, so this is the same approach is going to go. Especially this first statement is always going to be this. No, not like it's going to be this, but this is the structure. Same with the while loop where you have while uh let me see. Okay, yeah. So while this is this, right? So I think that was what we did. Then oh yeah. So we went to function. So function was like basically creating more of like something like a specialized tool that we know that we are going to be using to do a particular thing. So like this now here we created a gender, let's say gender check-in. So what we did here was we know that this gender check-in will be used to check for gender. So that was the point of this gender function, right? Over time we might get to create more. So then I think that was where we really stopped. Oh yeah, so yeah, I was trying to even come up to do some other things. So so basically what we are supposed to do today is on libraries that we are going to be needing specifically for our data analysis. And there are quite a number of them, but the important, well, all of them are important, right? Depending on what you need to do. So for instance, now the first one is pandas. I think I said some things about pandas in last class, but oh yeah, I think I'm starting already. So I said I want to go to Colab. I don't want to use this. So what I'll do here is I'll browse. So I went to this site, then it came here, then I'll upload, I'll browse, then I'll go and get the Python notebook file, and you're gonna see what's going to happen. So it has uploaded here, success. Uh, okay, so it's going to open up. and we should be set. Yeah, so look at everything here. So it's still loading, of course, but you can see that this is like what we had, something like this, just that some things look different. Like, okay, look at this bunch on the right. Yeah, I think that's more like an update of what's going on. Then I think it's tiny. Imagine, I like my system is a very small system, so I like to make everything tiny so that everything can fit in almost. Okay, so you can see that this is similar to what we have on. So there's just a little bit of few difference, but everything works the same. Just that when you want to start this, you have to first of all, since it's online, you have to use this button connect to start this operation. Normally you start your Jupyter kernel. So that's like something similar you're doing here. So when you connect, at the end of the day, you see connected. Uh, okay, yeah, so that's connect. You can see connected. Usually they give me 12 gig of RAM and 100 and something gig of storage for free. So if you need storage, you're working on something large, you can use this, and you need more RAM. Right, this 12 gig of RAM. So I think there was a point I had just 4 gig of my system with RAM. Right, this is that be the best option. Then I can run everything. So I'm just going to run everything so you can see that everything runs. That's where runtime comes in and run all. This was what I was looking for in Jupyter Notebook. Yeah, I didn't see it actually. I use another option actually to write my Python notebooks anyways. So everything here should run properly. Maybe just a few. For this one will give me an issue actually. It's already rolling. Of course, yes, it's not defined. So I'll just continue with the rest. Then I can click on this button. Let me see. There should be a way to run. Okay, I think run time, run after. So it will run everything to the bottom. This one is asking for a number here. Okay, let me just put it through. Enter. So I guess you should continue. I think I forgot to remove all of these numbers. Oops. Okay. I have a lot of numbers, a lot of inputs that I did not do. So if your network is pretty okay, decent, you don't have to have a very good network to use all these things. It will still run in either ways. I think it's only need to stop. Uh, Control C. I can't remember it. I think I'll just stop it here. So yeah, I can stop it easily. So I've stopped that. Then the rest is running. The rest is running. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this will be at the last. Oh, sorry, this was a mistake. That's even a mistake. So this was now consider everything is running now. Everything has run and it's successful. You find your output on here the same thing with the other. So I would right now I would not use this one because we are just done basics with this. So I don't want to mix everything together. So I'm just going to use a new one. So create a new one automatically. So that's if you want to test. So if you are working on this Colab, you can export. Then if you know you want to take your work from the Jupyter notebook to the Colab, you can import. So when we are done with this, we just export and we see everything and we check it in Colab. Sorry, in on our Jupyter notebook, and we find out how everything works. Okay, so now I mentioned that we are going to be dealing with two. Let's just call it two important libraries for now. The first one is called Numpy. Numpy, sorry. So Numpy is the first library. So there are libraries in Python, yes. So libraries are how should I put it?
Sorry, please, before you proceed, can I quickly ask the question
Sure, go ahead.
on custom custom variables and is it system variable? I can't remember what you called it. Second one.
Custom functions.
Is it functions
I think
variable?
and built-in functions. That's where when you say built-in, I think it might be that. So let me Okay, let's see if I can maybe if I example one. Uh, think was it when we're dealing with functions when we're talking about this?
Okay, yes. Okay, so now where you use that index.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so is it just a is it just something you created on your own? So if I'm writing a code, I can as well use something else apart from that.
Yeah, correct. So you find out that this index is kind of what I'm using in these places. So like it's just because I created it myself. So I said the way it works, the way I like to say it is for item in this bag. So it can be the item can be any you can decide to name it anything. But if you are going to use that name, make sure that you are going that's the name you're using inside of your for loop. You get it?
Okay.
Okay. Uh, okay then. So let's proceed. Let me go back to okay. So what I want to say about NumPy is like your list. But this time around, it is faster than the list. The way the lists work. Of course, you're wondering why should lists be faster, or what are we doing that is even making it fast? A list simply looks like one, comma two, comma three, right? You're wondering why would this be faster when I say a list? So the NumPy is called numerical Python, right? So it is meant for numerical analysis. We need to do any numerical work, advanced numerical work. It does it easily, fluently, right? I think that's just one of the things it does. That's one of the advantages. So we are going to be using this because we might need to do some simple uh, numerical imputations, and using Python, using NumPy makes it easier. For instance, now, so if you want to do this, you start with so you have to import the libraries. So I was mentioning about libraries. Libraries are they are more of like um, they contain a lot of functions that have been built by someone, but the person is actually trusted by the person. Everything that has been certified by a lot of people. So that's like the way functions work. So the library is filled with those functions, right? And the work that is certified. So just see them as functions in certified in a way that works, and everybody needs them. Then that's the point of where you now need to build your own function is where you need to do specific things. So everything inside this NumPy library has everything that you need to do numerical analysis. Same with the Pandas library. The Pandas library has almost everything you need to do with handling the data. There are some other libraries. There's one we are going to use. I think I used it. I think I wrote it down here when I talked about Matplotlib. So Matplotlib is a library that is meant specifically for visualizations. Right, it makes your visualization easy. So let me just write NumPy library. So it's a library in Python. So if you want to import this, you have to import it. So all those libraries, you have to import them if you want to use them. So and how do you import them? All you have to do is import NumPy. So for some of us that are using Anaconda already, this will not be an issue. You just need to import it. It's already installed. It comes with Anaconda. That was why I advised everybody to install Anaconda. So it comes with Anaconda. So you do import NumPy, right? So if I run this again now, you can see it runs. If I check the version, that's NumPy dot. So you don't need to know this. Just understand that it works. You can see the version, right? Good. So now you can. So let's do something like create an array. So call it NumPy dot array. There I would put in the array 1, 2, 3. Now, let me now show you the difference between the two. So if I do, let's store this inside num equals to, so I've stored num inside this, I've stored this. Okay, I should store this to somewhere. So let me say num array. Good. So now let's check the type. Remember in Python, you just put type, then put inside what you want to check. You see that this one is a list. That means first one is a list. Now let's check the second one. Type um, num array. Sorry. So you can see what you have here. So what you have here is a numpy. This is I think it's a non-dimensional array, right? So they are different actually. And so some simple things you can do with this now. So you can see they are both numbers. If I decide to call num array, for instance, I'd say num array, what will come out is 1 2 3 1 2 3, but it's still an array. The way I access a list is the way I can access it. So if I want to access the first element, I just put 0 and the first element comes out, right? If I want to do all the operations are similar with the list, but it has more. So now let's say a simple one now. So for instance, now I want to get the minimum number in this array, right? All I have to do is just do dot min, that's minimum, and run this, and you get 1. So it has its own functions that helps you. Of course, you might encounter that there's another way to get the minimum. So let's say from num now, you cannot do dot minimum actually, it's not work. Let me see, will it work? Exactly, it's not work. I can see error already coming up. It's not going to work. Well, I think there's another way to do it. You can just put minimum outside here and put the array inside. But this is this is slower. Of course, you might not see the effects now because we are working with something small. So let me just keep talking about how you can work with the numpy because that's what we are going to be focusing on. So you can do something like get the maximum number. So you already know from that will be dot max. That's 3. Of course, don't forget the number is 1 2 3. Now you can also get some other things. You can do some other things easily. Now before we continue to go further, right? I'm going to change something. So that's this place in this import numpy. Uh, so numpy as itself is too long. As I have to write the whole numpy. So there's something we do in Python. So what we do is import numpy as np. You can see it's even here already, like the suggestion. Now, what this means is like in SQL, when we're dealing with SQL statements, where you have as this, select this row or select this column as you put a name. So it's more of like an alias, right? So instead of using numpy, what you are going to be calling is np. Np is faster. Just write np. We're going to be saying that a lot now. So if I've done this, running this numpy will not work again. Will it still work? No, it should not. Actually, it should not work. Oh, it's still working. But what I should do here is just be np because np is now known for as numpy. It's now identified as numpy, right? So I'll have to change this one to np. So it's now np as numpy.array, right? Okay, so I just want to get that right so that when we continue you'll be seeing some simple things. So for instance now, if you want to get the average, that's the mean, how do you do it? Easy, just do num underscore array dot mean. Hold on, is it dot mean? Yes, it's dot mean. I didn't see a color actually. So it's dot mean. So it gives you the mean. It's a built-in function. So for instance, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 divided by 3 is 2. Like I'm just calculating average because I'm dealing with a small number. So in a situation where you're dealing with a large series of number, you don't want to, all these things will help you, will make your work faster. For instance, now you need to do square of number. Like let me bring this so that we can see it now. Like we are getting lost. So just like a reminder what the number array looks like. So this is what it looks like. So let's say something like, so numpy, remember this is numpy, dot square, square, and you put in the array inside, or whatever thing you want to put in, numpy array. Let's watch what will happen. So you can see now odd number inside is squared automatically. 1, 2 is squared. So like it helps you to do all these simple things easily. Like square root now is just SQRT, and you put in your array inside. Although at this point you can put in any list. But remember now we're already using NumPy to achieve that. You can put in any array, make sure that it's a list or a tuple, or can use a dictionary. I'm not quite sure. But if it's a list and a tuple, yes, it will work. And using NumPy array is even faster. Right? That's just the point of using NumPy. So you can see now I'm computing the square root of all the numbers 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I want to do it, let me say, okay, let me store this square, right, and reproduce it. So let me say num square equals to this, right? So I can copy this, bring it here, and run this. So you can see now this is now in num square. So let's put num square into this place, and you see that our result will be returned. We have the initial value we have in 1, 2, 3. So you can see 1, 2, 3. But mind you, you're seeing dots, 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots. 1 dot means 1.0. It has basically converted it to a float. But it's not even showing the zero because it's saving space. That's another thing. It is making sure that it is not taking any extra space. You're not wasting space with it. That's why you're having it like this. So there are other ones you can explore. For instance, just putting np dots in. If you are going with Google Colab, you have some things you can see here. I don't want to take us too much into this, but I think you can see absolute. Absolute is up. I think I talked about square now. Let me see. R square is for. Can I get there? S SQ. Yeah, CSQRT here. You can see it here. C square here. So you can see some other things, like some other things you can do. So it's just a lot. So it just depends on what you want to do at that point. It's going to do it for you. So I'm not going to spend time on teaching. I'll just do a little bit of this because like I said, I would like us to do more of the actual practice and the actual building of like building stuff, not doing a lot of things that we might not eventually need. Of course, you might need it, but if you need to go to it, then it won't be a big deal actually. So I think I would want to stop there with the NumPy. So that's basically an overview of how the NumPy is. So all you have to do is, if you are using to create an array, so this, I'm creating an array here. All I have to do is call NumPy dot array. Then in these brackets, put in a list of numbers. That's the way it works. So you are going to be seeing something like this, like there will be a bracket and there will be a list or something inside it. So you don't get it mixed up. Sometimes you might think that, oh, it's just lists. There's no bracket around it, no parentheses. Sometimes you might think that it's just parentheses. There's no square brackets inside to make it a list, right? So sometimes those things might come up, but if you see it, don't get scared. You might just skip something. You just need to look at it and you figure it. And if you don't figure it, I'm always here for you. So I just want to stop there for NumPy, right?
So sorry, will it work if we say mp dot array minimum or mp dot array min?
Okay, something like np dot array, right? Then
No, I
sorry,
mean, to you found the mean of num underscore array. I mean,
yeah. Oh,
okay,
that was num array.
num array. Okay,
Yes, that was
so will it work if we use mp dot array, since num array is equal to mp dot array?
Oh, okay. You mean
Will that
will
work?
it work if I do it like this? NP array, then put in the list of numbers, right? Let's say 2, 4, 67. Then at the end, I now put dot main, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it will work. So, um, this will give us 2 as per minimum. Now, the the reason why this is not advisable is because you don't want too many things combined together on a single line, so that it will be
Okay.
readable and understandable. I can get
Yeah.
lost in this and I can write something that's very, very long. right? So if I write dot main, I can do dot absolute. That's if I have, let's say, -2 in this thing now, right? And I just call dot main, it will give us what? -2. If I put dot absolute, absolute means remove the negative. What will happen is, sorry, hold on. Okay, I think I'll have to wrap it around, is np dot absolute, np dot absolute. Yeah, so you can see now that's converted that -2. You can see now this is getting longer. In this same place,
Mm.
I have absolutes. In this same place, I have array. In this same place, I have main. Right? Why can't
Yeah.
I just break it down into variables? That's where your variables comes in. So I can store my np array into a variable. So let's just demonstrate that. It's a very nice one. So demonstrating this now, I'm going to store it in, let's say, sorry, I'm going to use a name to that's for now equals to np array. So I've not run it though. Then I'll take that array and check the minimum. So that will be to num mean. That's like a name. I'm just naming it. Then I take this one, I copy it, put it here, and do what dot mean. So that means in this place will be stored the minimum. Now I now go to the next one and do to num mean absolute. Then I store what I now bring here is this. Then I'll do np dot absolute and put decent. Oh, sorry, that's now actually uh yes. Now I'm just going to call this at the end. Now just put it here so you can see the results. Hold on. Then this one too, so that we can see the results down here. So now let me now run the three now. So I'm running. Hey, oh, you should know this. Sorry, not like this. Yes. So you can see now, this is the array. You can see the array now. Now, if I run the next one, you see the minimum number. Then if I run the next one, you see the absolutes. So this is relatable now. So person did this first, then went to check the minimum, then got the absolute of the minimum, right? You can see how easy and broken down that is. So I believe it's
Okay.
clearer.
Don't worry. I will understand it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Hey, God.
The point was just breaking that simple long line into uh variables. So this simple long line, we just broke it down into uh we add variables to it so that it will not get complicated and you will not get used to doing something as long as this because it's not a very good practice. You don't want your code of line to be very long that you don't have to be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling horizontally. You lose track of things. So that's the point. So I think I'll use this example anyways. Let me just leave it. Uh, so I want to move to pandas, right? So pandas is another library in Python that helps us to work with data frames, with data basically, right? Just basically, uh, yeah. Let's just let me just call it data for simplicity. So pandas library in Python. So to do this too, you have to import what pandas. Now I'm not going to go time and first do so you can even see some things here. Pandas are speedy. So that's one of the advantages of using collab. It brings out suggestion for you. There's a third option. Well, let's just stick with this first. If you do that later, it's a bit technical. So this is pandas. So you can see you have to import that speedy and so you can see all these names are just to make sure that it is shortened, right? So I'm going to run it now. That's run. So to check the version, I think some of you might have done this already. So version underscore uh this, so I think you see 1 point something, yeah, 1.53. So this is pandas. And so what do we do with it? We basically work with data. It allows us to manipulate data easily. We can enter into data, we can load data, you can load data from CSV, you can load Excel, name the data, no, name the kind of data, it will load it. That's how efficient pandas is. You can load almost any data. I can't say if Excel can load every data, right? But Pandas is quite capable of loading almost, okay, let me say almost any data. So let me say every data. Or I'm sure the ones you can think of to do it flawlessly. So how do we go about this? What do we do? So first of all, the basic thing that I would really love to show us is creating a table. So we need data. I don't want us to go and get data from somewhere. I want us to create a simple data. So let's say today is November. I don't want us to create something much. Who's thinking of the data analysts in the building? School student. I've used student. I've used school a lot. So let me say I don't want to use employee. I've used employee. I've used drivers at some point. You guys should help me now. Uh, okay. I'm thinking of houses and states. So let's just do something like that. So we have a house, we have a state, and we have the number of houses in the state. But let's just say Senate or number of politicians in the state. I don't know why there's politics. Never did this. So to create our data now, we are going to be using a dictionary. We have done dictionary. So what we want to do basically is I'll use an hashtag to comment. So create a data for each. We're not going to do all the states. We're also going to do a few states. So we are creating data for each state, and we are creating data for each state and the number of houses. So that's a politician. So we're just going to be assuming we're not going for everything. Sorry, politicians in the states, not like just a few states. All right. Or will this be okay? Let's see. No, not really. Each state number of politicians. Okay, we could say number of politicians. Then I don't know. I'm getting it's not common. So let's just call it data. Then now to create a dictionary, create a dictionary. So the first one is, let's say we want to name it. So we're going to say states. Sorry, hold on. All right, so let's say states, states, right? And the states we are picking. So yeah, let's say we are starting with uh, Lagos, right? So yeah, so now we are going to have to store the states inside a list because we are dealing with multiple states. So let's say Lagos, just pick a few. Abuja, I think I like Osun states. Osun, which other one? Let me say Calabar states. Let me say Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom. So let me just do that, just that. Yes, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 states. Now you now have a comma. Of course, you want to create. That's not the only thing you want to create. So I'm breaking it down. Okay, let me first write it in a long line. So states, then you say politicians, sorry, should be in quotes, politicians. Then so according to the number, Lagos, Abuja, Osun, Akwa Ibom, that's 4. So inside this, we are going to have 4. So let's say like 20, and there should be much in Abuja, 50 in Osun, let's say like 5. In Akwa Ibom, let's give them like 4. Now, this is a dictionary, a simple dictionary. So I'm going to call the dictionary so we can see what the dictionary actually looks like. So you can see dictionary now. We have states, and inside states there's a list: Lagos, Abuja, Osun, Akwa Ibom. In politicians, there's 20, 55, and 4. That means Lagos has 20, Abuja has 50, Osun has 5, Akwa Ibom has 4. Now, states and politicians. So I'm going to restructure the data here right now to look like, to make it easier to read. So all I have to do is put enter here, and you can see the format here now looks like what you have here. So with this, you can easily add more things. We will do that, but let's run this first. So we have data now. Run this again. Of course, it's the same thing. Now, let's now use pandas to create a table. So to do that, what we do is pandas, that's pd dot data frame. Now, remember Python is case sensitive. And please don't forget. The data frame here is capital D, and the frame is also capital F. Then you put inside the parentheses, you put data, and you run this. So let's see what happens. So can you see what happens now? A table is being created that looks like states. You can see the states, politicians, and you can see it. So if you want to decide that you want to add something else, right, to this list. So let's say you want to add politicians. What did that mean now? Let's say House of Rep. I don't know why I'm doing politics this evening. So besides the House of Rep, can say Lagos have like 100. Abuja has like, Abuja is small, though. Let's say between like 55 or 70. We'll give Ocean is not that bad, 60. Then give Akwa Ibom to like 50. Or let me make it flatter. So let me say like 67. So it's not like everything is going down. So if I run this again now, and I run data again, so it's still running. So I run data again, and I run PDA, pandas of data frame and data. What you're going to see is an object with 3 columns. You can see it: states, politicians, House of Rep. So it's as simple as that. Then you can try to store this into somewhere. Let's say, uh, what I want to call this by, um, okay, let's just call it Nigeria. Nigeria. So down here, I just call Nigeria. Now, let's just assume I just created this now. If I want to save it to CSV straight, all you have to do is just say Nigeria dot to underscore CSV and put the name of the file I want to name it. So let's say Nigerian calculator dot CSV. Then you have to add something called index equals to false. Don't worry, you understand. So the meaning is of this index equals to false is that you can see here that there's an index 0, 1, 2, 3. That's like the index that is used to access each of these objects, right? So while you are using this option, usually try to create, if you don't put anything here, it will create another index. So if you have to just put index equals to 4, so I want my data to look exactly like this, that's all. If you run this, then what will happen is that inside here, inside your files, you see a file called Nigeria CSV. I can download this. I'm going to download and share it to us so you can see what it looks like in our own. Let me share it now. Okay, I'll share it after the class anyways. Let's just do that. So I've done that now. I've just exported it straight up. I just created it and I exported it. Now I can also read files. So this one I have to create data, right? And import it with bring it in with data.frame, and it looks like this. Now I can also bring in the data from anywhere, maybe a CSV or even a link, a direct link. But don't let's do link. Let's just do normal CSV. Now this I'm going to
Sorry,
use. Okay,
I'm sorry.
no problem.
If the index is equal to false, what does it mean?
Yeah, I
What if you put true? What would you do?
so if I put true, we are going to even see it here. So I'm putting true, and I'll create another one called Nigeria underscore index true. So now I've done this. If I come to check this place, we are going to see index true. Now we are going to open the two files and see what happens. I think that's the best way to go about it. I don't want to explain it. So now let's try to read files now. So we are going to the aspect of reading files, right? So to read files in, you still use PD, that's pandas dot. But this time you read underscore CSV. So now what this means is that pandas dot read underscore C. This is a method to read only CSV files. So we are going to be reading a CSV file, and the input is going to be inside this place. So what do we do? I think for now we can just do something as click this, copy parts, or we can just put the name of the file since you know it's nigeria.csv, right? You should read it. So if I call this now, can you see what has happened? This is the first one. Now let me do it for the second one. So let me do pd.read underscore csv and call the second one nigeria underscore index underscore true, and let's call it sorry, I missed something dot csv. Can you see it now? Can you see the difference? So what happened now is that while the index is true, it's going to create another index because it's assuming that, oh, maybe the first index is just there. Maybe you have done some work on it, right? And it's no longer correct. So if you don't want it to create new index, you set your index to false. If you want it to create new index, you set it to true. And when we did that, you can see what happened. It created a new column. So what it did was that uh, this line of that was here, it created a new column for it and stored it into an unknown data, which is why you have unnamed column 0. Do you see? Do you understand it now? Okay, cool. So so basically we have read the two files. So I'm just going to take this. Should I take this one out? Okay, let me just leave it. So I'm not going to read this properly. So this time around, I will take this, copy this, and store it inside a variable. No, I didn't store it inside a variable, so I can't call it. Anytime I need to call it, I have to call it because of this. I know the point of variable is to easily call everything together. So I'll call it df. So as you go on, if you use Python more, you begin to see things like df. So df simply means data frame, like just a variable name, a simple variable name, data frame, df, data. You can use anything actually. I can decide to use Nigeria. But let me use Nigeria. So if I call Nigeria now, you are going to see the table. Can you see it now? You can see your table back, the original table that we created. So that's what's putting index to false means. It will not distort, nothing will get affected. So now let me close this back so we can have our big screen. So you see now I've gone from just creating a simple data, if you want to create, importing it, and uh, working with a CSV file, reading the file back, right? Just to demonstrate that you can read other CSV files in your laptop or you have somewhere stored. You can read it back into Pandas, and it automatically looks like a table. Now with this table, you can do a lot of things. I think this data is not large enough. So what do I do? I think I have a few ones on my system. So let's work with that. So I'm going to upload. So I'm uploading the data. So let me see. Okay, can you see once you have worked that some points now? I think let's check this here. I need CSV data actually. Okay, I think I have notebooks. This is not documents. I have data folder. Not this. Um, data analysis, agent data analysis. Let's do some data here. Okay, not this part. Agent, I think it's agent. I'm sure I have the data exactly. So this is one data here. So I'm uploading it now. I think it has uploaded. So to read this, I'll just copy. I can copy the parts. It's easier. It will copy to my clipboard on my system, and I can paste it. So I'll do pd.read underscore csv. Then inside this, I'll put in quotes. Remember, there's always a quote. I'll do this. So because copying this, it copies the parts, and this is the exact part. Wait, this is the part like where it is on my system. I can try to remove this part to still work. Then if I run this now, ah, so let me close this so you can see the value. So you can see all the data now, right? I think it's just from this end to this end. And you can see how long it is. Good. Now let's store this into something. So let's say sleep. Let's just call it sleep. And we put sleep down here so it gives us the results. Good. Now most of the time it's not advisable to open your to do it to view all the data. So what is usually advisable is just view the maybe a first set of rows, maybe the first five or the last five. So to do the first five automatically, all you have to do is do sleep.add and you run this. So it will give you just the first five rows. The top five rows. That's the first one, from 0 to 5 to give you the top five. And if you use sleep.tail, it will give you the last five. So you're going to see the last five rows of that data. Now you can see just add tail, right? If you want to see, let me see, okay, let's add tail. Okay, I think I should still chill. So if you want to access some particular set of data, right? Maybe you need to access just person IDs. Or okay, before then, if you want to see the size of the data, how large it is, all you have to just do sleep.shape. So it's just to see the shape of the data. But mind you, shape does not take in a bracket, a parenthesis. If you run this, get an error. To tell you there's no attributes. I think a type error is not callable. So you don't call this. This is where you call it. And you see, so what this means, you have 374 rows and 13 columns. And you can confirm that this is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right. So with this, you can easily, you don't need to go through all your data. In Excel, you want to start looking at it one by one. With this, you can do some simple things faster. For instance, now, you want to see if there's an empty value inside your data. All you have to do is just do sleep.info to get more information about the data. So that's what it means. So info will give you information. So here you can see, so just pay attention with me here. I'll explain everything. So what you are seeing input, all you need to pay attention is this part. This part. So these are the columns. Where you have the columns are the columns you have. Not null means that the ones that are not empty. That's what this part means. Then D type means the data type. So you can see here person ID has 374 not null. It has and is in this particular data type. Do you understand that? Now same with gender. We did it sometimes in Power BI where you also check. I don't think we did in Excel when we're doing with spreadsheet. But when we're doing it Power BI, we saw something like this, right? But this one, you just run it and it gives you all the information about the data at once. You can see it here. So you can see here, there's no empty data. Everything is 374. Then you can see, of course, here the data type is different. You have some are integer, some are object, some are floats. The object means that it is like text, text. So like gender now, gender is text, occupation is text. If you come back here, you see gender is objects, occupation is objects. So that's what sleep.info is. Now, if you now want to access some particular set of data, right? Maybe you just need two columns or a particular column. All you need to do is just call sleep, then in a square brackets, you put inside it the particular data you want to see. So let me see, you need to interact with one data. I'm copying person ID now, and I'm pasting it in this place. And I'll control enter, and it will give me all the details. That's only that information that is there. Maybe I need to work with it. Maybe I need to do some analysis with it specially, or I just need to access that particular column for my visualization, right? I can just do this. Now, if I need to access multiple, I can't use this any longer. What I will have to use is, so if I enclose it in a double square, in a square bracket two times, for instance, saying sleep two square brackets, then I put person. Can you see, give me the suggestion? That's one of the reasons why I like using this. You can see it looks like a table here rather than this. So there's a difference actually. Uh, this is more of like just series. This one is more of like a table. That's what this does actually. So now with this one, you can include multiple columns. With this one, you cannot include multiple columns. So if I have comma, let me see, age, and I run this, I'm going to get an error. See, error is coming up already. Key error. Of course, you can't do that. So I'll undo this. And I'll put it in the other one. I'll include this here. Then put age. So you see what will happen. So it's like as if it picks that particular data. It just pick it out from the original data you have. That's up here. I think I should put it down here so that you can see it. Sleep dot edge. So yeah, let me just put it down here so that you can see it. So you can see what happens here now. It picks just the person ID and picks age. If you want to add gender to it, right, you just have to, you can add it anywhere safe. It doesn't have to be the way it was arranged in the original data. So gender, and what you can see now, you have person ID, age, and gender. Of course, in this case, it is person ID, gender, and age. Now, what you are just doing is you are selecting a part of the data with this. You are not changing anything. No, we are not assigning anything. We are just viewing. That's what we are doing with this. So it's taking a subset of the data and it's more of like a data frame, right? So that's the difference between so that's the point of actually doing this, because we want to access some set of things. Now, since we are talking about accessing items, right? I think we did it in Excel and Google spreadsheets where we're talking about uh, I think it was it pivots? No, it wasn't pivots. I think we're trying to access items with a particular rows. The given the particular rows. I think it was index, yeah. Index and matching. So we're trying to access that kind of thing. So it's also possible here. And to do that, we use two things. There's lock. Sorry. Yes, there's lock and there's iLock. So iLock is more of like index. You use index. Why this uses label. So lock uses label. iLock uses index. More of like the I in front of the L, like index, label. So something like this. So now let me demonstrate how it works. Don't worry, just take a breath. So for instance now, sleep dot lock. Now let's assume that we want to access uh this doctor information here is in occupation and is in the number one index, right? So all we need to do is just put his occupation, put the column name here, sorry, occupation, and put the index. here, which is what? 1. So if you run this now, you should have, hold on, it takes 1. Okay, I think that's supposed to do, sorry, I shouldn't have shown this. Uh, Let me see, 1. Oh, wait, is it iLock? I think it's iLock. Hold on, let me take all of these out. Sure, scatter my. So, wait, let me see it again. Sleep.iLock, 1 occupation. It takes from 1 to 2 positional arguments, but given. Okay, so let's do it again. So let's say it's sleep.lock. Wait, what did I use? Hold on. Oh shit! No, I shouldn't have done this. Now this is I've seen what I did wrong. What I did was using a parentheses. I should have used square brackets actually. So if I use square brackets, let me see. Still not working. Key error. Let me see. Okay, index 1. Okay, so what should I should have here is 1. So all of this is like more of like uh simple things that could happen when you're trying to access something. I know it, but looks like it wasn't working, right? So all I did just was okay, wait, check it, check it. So I first mentioned that I used a parenthesis instead of square brackets. Then also the positioning. I was able to figure that out from what I saw. So when it said key error, these are supposed to be the key. Your column names are supposed to be the key. So if you're saying key error, that means you can't find it. So now you can see what we have here now, doctor. So the issue I had was I used a square, a curly, is parenthesis of square brackets. So it happens to best of us. So sleep.log. So we are getting this part. So it's like more of like location, like a shortcut for location, right? So we are putting 1 and occupation, and it's giving us doctor. For instance, let's say we want to get his blood pressure, right? That's 125 by 1. I think that's unique. Uh, Normal. I think all of this is unique. Actually, I want to get a distinct feature. Okay. Okay. Let's just put it that way. So let's say we want to get something else, a random thing. So this time around, we don't want to use we know the actual index, right? So let's say sleep dot iLog. I was about to use. So iLog is like it takes indexes, just 2 indexes. So for instance, now I'm going to put just 0, comma 0 into this place, and you get 1. 0, comma 0 means the first item here. That's now you start counting from 0, and the first item here. That's 0 and there's 0. So it gives you 1. Okay, let's see if it works very well. Let's try to access this software engineering here. That would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 0. So let's put 3. Wait, hold on. I think it is rolled in column. I mixed this in the quotes. So I'm supposed to get software engineer, right? So yeah. So the row comes first, then the column goes next. So the row, then you count your column. Now, that's like using iLock, right? Then I just mentioned it. Then if you want to do the same thing, it was okay. I think it was one of us I was telling you can use for loops and while loop is doing the same thing, different ways, right? Let's try to make this access the same thing. So let's access software engineer with this location, just location, not using index. So that would be uh index 0 of the row and occupation as a column. So if I change this to 0 now, I see that software engineer is still coming up. So the way this one just works is all you have to do is put the role and the column of whatever you're trying to access, and it brings it out for you. It's as simple as that. although it can get more complex. For instance, when you are dealing with iLock, you want to get a range of things, right? So what we are doing here, we only get to software engineering. So what do we do? Let's say we want to get software engineering doctor, right? That means our role will be from 0 to 2, and it will only be the occupation will remain the same. So I don't want to delete this. Let's come back here. So let's do sleep dot iLog. Now remember I said our row will be 0 to 2, and to do that, what we do is then semicolon and 2. So this will give us. Now another thing I still don't mention is you can decide to access only the rows. Accessing only the rows with this will give us all the items from 0 to 2. No, 0 to 2, that means 2 is not included. So if you want to include 2, you have to put 3. So 0 to 3. But mind you, what we are going to is occupation, only occupation. We don't need everything. So what do? We change, we had a column to it. So it's not compulsory you do this. If you want to, if you are going to be accessing, hold on, something is going on. Location based index, start point is included, is like, oh, sorry, I'm dealing with iLook, so I can't use this. Remember, iLook is only index. See the way I just, when I read this, I felt like, okay, something must be wrong. I came back, I remember it was iLook, so I can't use this. So it was 3 I was using numbers. Exactly. So we can see it now. Occupation, software engineering, doctor, for just 0, 1, 2. Now, if you are interested in maybe more than, maybe for like person ID to occupation, let's say you're interested in just that, then you could do something like, so I'm just going to copy that for my, you could do something like add a range for the columns too. So instead of having just 3, it will be 0 to 3. I think this is already becoming similar. So 0 to 3 will now be 0 to 3 for the rows, the first one here. Then the next one is 0 to 3 for the columns. So that's you accessing that item. So everything we are just doing is basically accessing items, because sometimes you might not need all of the data. You might just need a few ones to do um, whatever you want to do, right? Okay, let me should I wanted to show the simple charts. Okay, I think with this I think that's one of the features of Power BI. So that's a Power BI. So Python, you can see it can help you with charts easily, but I would also get into that properly. I want to take the video, I just found the video. Okay, good. So now we can access items based on this. Of course, you might not be asking, what about the lock, the LOC? Can't I do the same thing I'm doing here? Of course, you can do it now. So all you have to do is sleep.lock. Sorry, habit. Sleep.lock. Now, what rows are we needing? That's 0 to 3, 0 to 2, which has to be 0 to 3. That's the rows. So if I just do only this, I should get the response exactly. So I'm getting, so in the LOC, I think it includes 3. It includes the last item compared to the iLog. So you are seeing some differences. So we don't need the last, so we just need it second one. So you change it. Then now you need person ID uh, to age. So what do we do? What we do is, I think we can use a list. I'm trying to see this ID. Let me do this first. Yeah, so we can add gender, and you can add age. So this one I'm selecting. It's like I'm even selecting the ones I want. I can try to change this age to stress level. Stress level is a column, and this is stress level here. So you can see the flexibility that this one is giving me. I think I can do it with this. Here I was using range. Yeah, I could even use a list. I could try to replace with the list. Let me see. 0, 1, 2. Let's see. Yeah, I think it should work. Yeah, it works. So you can see how I'm just changing things and moving, trying to just see what works and see what does not work, right? And at the point, I think at this list, I've not had the reason to use it. I'm always using the range. That's if I need to use iLook, and I rarely even use this. I preferably use the lock, right? I can access directly, knowing what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm using the label itself, so I can easily change it. This one I have to start tracking. Oh, is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 6? With numbers, right? So that's the liberty that this gives me. The just the location, the lock compared to the eye lock. I think calling the lock seems like a key lock, anyways. So that's basically how you can access items. So I would say it's more of like accessing items. You can, let's say, because we moved from selecting just a single object, right, to selecting multiple things with the same thing, right? So you can also do things like flitter. Also, I think it was, yes, we did flittering in spreadsheets, right? So let's look at the age now. Oh, okay. So before I go there, I think I missed something. There's another. We talked about info, giving you the information about the item, everything, right? So there's another one called describe. So from the word describe, basically describes your numerical data. So from here now, you can still see the counts up here, but it has some other information for you. Like here, you can see the mean. Already it's telling you that the mean. So here you can easily tell the average age here is 42. The average sleep duration is like 7. Same with the sleep quality. You can see the average daily sleep. I think things I can relate to it's like 68,000. The average daily steps for everybody in this data. The mean for past person ID does not really matter because it's just from 0 to 1,300 before it's continuous. So what happens is just divided by 2. So, but the ones for the rest where you don't have ID, when you have ID, remember ID is like a unique identification. So if there's no ID there, it means that it's just a normal data. The fact that ID there means is that it's a unique, like I said, a unique number. I think you mentioned that when we were dealing with Power BI. Then you can see the minimum. So you can see the minimum number here is 27. That's the least age. The maximum is 59. You can see daily step. The maximum is 10,000. The minimum is what? 3,000. So this is more of like an overview of the data. You can see that 50% of the people in this data, they are what? 43 years of age. The 50% of people in this data have 7,000 daily steps. Something like that. And you can see it's not too far from the average daily steps because it's like median. That's middle. Something like that. So that's what this gives you. It gives you, like I said, you might need to get some of these things. From here, you are seeing it easily. I just have to do sleep.describe and everything comes out. Everything related to my numerical data. The reason why objects data is not here, I think there's an option to include it. I don't really remember this. The reason why it is not here is because you can't do mean for you can't do average for a numerical data. You can't do standard deviation. I think the worst case things you can do is maybe like mean, maybe max if you are going to be sorting it alphabetically, like in that kind of thing. But it doesn't make sense to do minimum for object value for text data. That's why you are not seeing it here. So you are wondering there where is gender? Where is I think I have dot eight down here. Where is occupation, right? Where is BMI category? You're not seeing all of those things here, right? Because they are not numerical data, they are just text data. Okay, so let's move forward. I know it looks like we are moving very fast, right? But I can assure you that it's just easy peasy to work over. So there's still some things I want to show. So I mentioned filtering and sorting, right? So so I can see my head here. So let's say we want to sort occupation. We want to sort this data by occupation. And see we have software engineering, we have sales. We want to sort it by occupation. What do we do? All we have to do is sleep. I think dot sort. I think I need, yeah, sort values. Then we we can pass in so let me just see if I can remember it again. I think there's usually an example here, right? Okay, so you can sort values by column. So by the column I want to use first is what's occupation. Then so by default, if I run this, it's going to, it should return the data frame for me. But now all sorted by occupation. You can see it's sorted from, I think it's ascending from head to bottom. That's ascending. So you can see everything has changed. Accountant is now A. So you can, but you can see that the index has even changed itself. It's no longer 1 2 like we had with this 0 1 2 3 4. It has now changed. It has restructured, rearranged it, and sorted by occupation. Now, you can add more things. For instance, maybe I think we did it in SQL where you sort by occupation, then you can sort by order once again. So like now, occupation is sorted, but here you see you have normal weights. Of course, it's different people, but after sorting by this, you can decide to sort by the BMI category. So to do that, you just add it to your list. So as much as possible, as many more uh, sorting you want to do. Categories. Then here you go. So you can see occupation is sorted now. Where you have accountant teacher. But if you now check BMI category, you find out it's also sorted. Where you have normal. Yeah, I think we have normal overweight. So I think it's just two anyways. I'm not sure. So that is how we go about the sorting. Oh, cool. Yes, I forgot one more thing. So here's an order. So if you want to change the order, I think you just have to pass ascending. I'm not sure. No, this will completely wrong. It shouldn't be order. Yes. I think is should be this sort ascending. I might be spelling this correctly. Okay, that brought it up for me. Oh yes, it's just ascending. Then I can put true. So by default is it true? Then if I now change this to false, it means that it will now sort it in the other way around. That's from descending to ascending. That's from bottom, I think from bottom to top, right? Yeah, from bottom to top. So it's now reversed. So you have teacher first, same with your overweight too. It's now reversed. So that's how you can switch your order of arrangement where you want to sort. Um, okay, so let me just do filtering. So when you now want to filter, right? So I'm just going to make this smaller and put dot eight at the back. So it will make it just top five. So when you have something like a data frame, you can add all this dot edge, dot tail. It's so far it's like a data frame. It's looking like a table, right? You can make use of all those commands. Now, if you want to now filter, so I'm just going to filter for let's say two things: occupation and gender. So sleep, uh, sorry. So let's say sleep dot, uh, sleep dot, okay, no. So the way it works is you put in the column. So let's say occupation. Now, occupation, right? Now, if I call this normally, I'll just get a single list, like a long line of lists. That's the series. Now, I want to check if it is what teacher or not. So we are comparing that if every item in this is the same as teacher, what will happen? That means some will be true, some will be false. Of course, we are seeing everything and you are not seeing everything here actually, because there's actually some true here. So to demonstrate that there's true in it, I'll use software engineering first. Or let me use doctor. So I'll replace this with doctor. Doctor. So you see some true. You can see some true here now. So there's actually true. Now you now pass this, the whole of this. You will enclose it in a square bracket and put the original data frame there. So it's like inside sleep now. Let me break it down. So it's like inside the data frame you have a square list. Normally what you do here, you just put your data now, occupation, you put your column, right, and you run this, it brings it out. But rather what we are now doing here, we are not putting column name inside because we want to filter. So we are getting the column index, that's occupation, and sorry, and we are assigning a like more of like a boolean to it if it's, oh sorry, no, we are just putting the normal, the operation we're actually looking for. That's what I did up there, although I've not run it. So if I run it now, it will only give me the data frame that is true. So the only thing that will come out is where this is true, bring out the results. Normally if you call sleep, everything will come out. But what is now inside this place is more of like a conditional that, oh, filter for only where you have occupation as doctor. It will remove every other one. It's not like it's removing it, it's just hiding it, like it's not in the list. This is what it's deciding to give to us. So here you see that you only have doctors here. So if I change this now, I can easily switch this to teacher, right? And it changes, and the only thing that is giving me is what? Everywhere we have teachers, the only data. I said I was going to do it with BMI category too. So like I said, to make this smaller, just put dot head over here and it just gives the first five. Like that's the point of dot head and dot tail. So now let's do the same thing with BMI category. So let's say sleep, then BMI category, and so we want to check, remember this double to equals is just to confirm, compare values. So we want to check the result if it's the same thing, like let's say obese, right? So you know if you do this, the output is true, false, true. So it's more of like you are putting a list where, okay, give me all the place that is only true. So what will happen is that it will not return anywhere you have false, it will not return that rule, it won't be included inside that data, something like this. So if I use sleep here, so it's like you are saying, oh, if it's false, if that rule is false, don't return it, right? If it is true, return it. So if it checks that rule and you see that it is false, that is appearing there, it's not return it. If you see that it is true, it will return that exact rule because what you are looking for can be found there. So I'm just going to take this and put it in place of this. Remember, I have to remove the quotes. I don't need the quotes. Then I'll upload this and run this. So you see now what you get is only data where you have obese. Obese. Obese is just the only thing that'll be here. Uh, let me see. I think well, 10 minutes more to 6. Okay, so I think I can stop here. Enough of the clouding and the crowding, and you can just take a break here and can continue from here in our next class. So by the way, okay, yes, I said I was going to show you one more last thing. That's where you can export this back. So to export, all you have to do is come down here. There's download somewhere here, down here. So you have to do is click download and click this one, the first one, which is .ipynb. So when you do that, you can rename it. So I'm just going to name it ijan uh, Python. What do you do today? Numpy and Pandas. And I'll save it. Same way I'll save it in our document so we can see it. So I won't lose track of it. Save. So I've saved it now. That's downloaded to my system. Now I can go and open it in my system now inside Jupyter Notebook. Right? So my system, I can click on the file and it's open straight. I have the advantage. I don't have to go and open. It's open automatically open a Jupyter kernel for me. So it's coming up. So you can see now. So this is everything that we ran in on Colab, on Google Colab, everything, including where we had to create a data frame, where we had to import pandas, we imported NumPy here. We ran it. So if you want to do this now, if I run all, for instance, kernel, we start and run all, cells. See, you find out that everything we run correct now. So I think it's I started. So let's just go to top now. Look at it. Everything that we did, everything, the results are now there. You can see it's data, the frame we created. This file is already somewhere in our system actually. It's not seeing it, right? But it's actually there. I think you check it, see Nigerian index true. Okay, I think we did this twice. So let me just create a new one so that next time we are running everything together, we won't have issues. So if I run this now and run this, so you can see uh the everything is now there. So I really don't know how to run everything to the bottom. Okay, yeah, this is it. Run and select cells below. No, run all below. Yes. Okay, this data set, so now to upload it. So that's another thing. Should I look for it? So basically, if you do all of that, okay, let me just look for it and copy the parts. I think it is somewhere in ijan. I think here. So what I just do is just copy. I don't think I can do this. So I'm just going to try. It worked. So I just copy the whole file part on my system, just so that you can just pass across this audio. So I think this is kernel in this view, edit. Sorry, where did I see it now? Okay, run up below. Exactly. So this is everything that we did in Colab. Everything right here, up to the point of where we sorted by difference and we filtered, right? So there should not be any discrepancy like why we're using Colab, why we're using Jupyter. This is the reason. You can just have a feel of how they work. That's all, right? And we can say we can actually move from one place to the other. We just need to in places where we are calling things, where we are importing, sorry, when we are having it to do a file, to work with a file, you might just need to change some things. But regarding that, aside that, there's really little differences actually. So I think I would like to stop here for today. And if you have any questions, Tito Abdurrashid, any questions?